The Kenny Quest Show is rated M for motorcycles and contains examples of proper riding technique, sound judgment in conjunction with poor decision-making, rider errors, and gratuitous psychological nudity.
Welcome to the Kenny Quest Show. I am your host, Kenny Quest. Thank you for tuning in. This week's topic, 5 reasons to buy a Harley Davidson Iron 883 in 2021. As you can see, I am riding a 2021 Iron 883 in Snake Venom, one of the limited color runs that they're doing for this year on the Harley Sportster Iron 883. If you're actively looking for a motorcycle to purchase in 2021, if you're coming back into riding, if you're a new rider, or maybe you're going to upgrade your motorcycles and you're looking for something out there as an option, here's 5 reasons why you should buy an Iron 883 in 2021. Reason number 1, build quality. Harley Davidson knows how to build bikes. And this product is made out of steel and metal and aluminum. The fitment of parts, even the plastic parts that are there, which comparative to other models in its class, whether it's a European motorcycle, a Japanese motorcycle, no matter their origin, Harley Davidson products and the Sportster Iron 883 are well built. These motorcycles are reliable. This particular design, the Sportster, has been out since 1957. They've made technological changes along the way. The version that I'm on has had very little changes since 2014. They're there, but not many. And before that, 2007, they introduced fuel injection. And they've made modest technological changes along the way to be competitive. But at the same time, the product has been manufactured reliably. So you can have an experience with the motorcycle without worrying about things breaking down, how it handles with engine heat, how it handles with wear and tear. They're very reliable. The bike has been engineered and designed for simple execution. The Iron 883 includes traditional technologies that are affordable to manufacture, so they're able to manufacture the higher quality parts without charging arm and leg. For instance, we're using cable clutch and not ride-by-wire, so we have a very tactile, very human, interactive operation with the motorcycle. There's fuel injection. ABS is an option if you want it. On the Iron 883, the technology is low, but the technology that you give you is a technology that progresses and propels the user experience to be visceral, to be traditional, to be wind in your face, twist of the wrist and the throttle, and get you down the road. Harley Davidson has a great relationship with its part suppliers. Some of these relationships go decades. They get what they need out of their part suppliers. And for what they manufacture in-house, obviously they manufacture to exacting standards. Their paint quality is unmatched. You can look at a Harley Davidson made today, like my Snake Venom paint scheme. You can look at one from 2007, like on this Dyna. You can look at something that's 30 years ago. The paint scheme, they pop, they last a long time. The style is timeless, it's classic. Reason number 2, rider experience. The Iron 883 is very manageable. It's a very manageable bike. The engine is plenty to get you down the street. It's plenty for around town. The experience of riding the motorcycle and shifting through the gears. Each gear shift, when you make a shift, you know that you've made a shift. It gives you confirmation. The controls are substantial, yet not difficult to operate, but they give you good rider feedback. And as a newer rider, I believe that's very important to get as much information back from the motorcycle so you feel confident in what's happening and how you're controlling the motorcycle. The motorcycle needs to help you a little bit. It doesn't need to help you with technology. It needs to give you feedback from your action. So when you turn that throttle, does the engine give you a sound? Does it make a noise that's pleasing as you rev through the RPMs? The sound of the exhaust is unmistakable. The V-twin engine that Harley Davidson makes, whether it's a stock form, whether you add a slip-on exhaust to enhance the baritone notes, or you choose to put on a full header exhaust system to get that classic potato sound. The Harley Sportster with the Evo engine, originally released in the mid-80s and still continues through today, is arguably one of the best sounding Harley Davidson motors ever built. Along with that rider experience is pride of ownership. How many of you have seen a Harley Davidson motorcycle out there and the rider is very happy to promote the fact that he rides a Harley Davidson? Recognizable in name, Harley Davidson. If you ask anybody out there, name me a motorcycle brand, they're going to say Harley Davidson. But Harley Davidson is one of the first names that you think of when it comes to motorcycles. The pride of ownership with something substantial that's not made out of all plastic, that gives you a deep baritone sound, that gives you the rider feedback that you desperately need when you're just starting out, connects you with the motorcycle in a way that cars and many other brands of motorcycle very rarely can do that for you. The Harley Davidson is an experience. Number 3 in the reasons to buy an Iron 883 in 2021, access to the lifestyle and culture. When you're a first-time motorcycle buyer, it's important that you connect with other motorcycle riders in your same position, but also ones that are more experienced. When you buy a Harley Davidson, you get access to their dealer support network, the Harley Owners Group, which consists of thousands and thousands and thousands of Harley owners across the country. Membership in the Harley Owners Group is free for the first year when you buy a Harley Davidson motorcycle from a Harley dealer, and it has a bunch of different benefits. You get access to that. You get access to local, dealer-based events, regional events, and national events, private independent events, all centered around ownership of Harley Davidson motorcycles. Harley Davidson is just like apple pie, hot dog, it's America. It's an American icon. The camaraderie that you get, the brotherhood that you get within the different subcultures of Harley ownership is unmatched and unrivaled, whether that's in the United States, but also I've seen it across in Europe, in Asia, Australia. There are Harley owner groups, enthusiast groups all over the world. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit that bell for notifications, hit a thumbs up, let YouTube know that you enjoyed this content. Number 4, the 4th reason to buy an Iron 883 in 2021 is its Modability. The Harley Davidson Iron 883 Sportster is a blank canvas for which you can do anything that you want to it. Personalization options are almost infinite. You can do a touring bike, you can make it a cafe, you can go club style, you can convert it into a chopper, you can make it into a bobber, you can make it into a heritage retro style bike, you can make it into a drag bike, you can keep it stock. There's no limits to what you can do with the Iron 883. Third-party support is plentiful for every one of these niches. There are part suppliers that specialize in Harley Davidson parts to make it look like a cafe, to make it look like a shopper. For instance, the Harley Davidson parts catalog through your dealer or directly online has a sampling of these different parts that you can personalize. And then you can get with companies like Lowbrow Customs if you want to dive into choppers. And they have a bigger parts catalog specializing in or personalizing your Sportster to be a chopper. And as you're building out your bike, you got support from the dealer if you're going to use Harley parts. And then you have supports from the manufacturers and the community if you're going to decide to go into other areas of personalization that are unique. There's a subculture and support for every little modification that you can do to your Sportster. All right, the 5th and final reason to buy an Iron 883 in 2021 is the value. The value is what you get long-term with your motorcycle purchase. Is the value there? Well, the Sportster arguably is a motorcycle that you can have for the rest of your life. These engines are designed to go miles and miles and miles with general maintenance. The access to a Sportster Iron 883, no matter the year it's manufactured, the access to that model motorcycle is very, very attainable for most people. And when I say most people, I'm thinking 90% of the general population. You can buy right now an Iron 883 Sportster or one of the other 883 Sportsters from years past for as little as $2,500. You can buy a late model Iron 883 for $3,000 to $5,000. You can buy a brand new Iron 883 for under $10,000 from the dealer. Now, some of you might be going, well, I don't have $10,000. Well, this is where the benefit of dealing with Harley Davidson, one of the world's largest manufacturers of motorcycles, they have their own banks. And yes, I said banks. They just don't have one bank. They have multiple banks depending on your credit rating. Now, I've seen firsthand how someone, not me, but a friend with a challenging credit score was able to purchase a Harley Davidson motorcycle with a $2,000 down payment. They were out the door. It was a motorcycle that was made in 2017, so it wasn't that old. And they were able to put down $2,000 and have them a motorcycle with only a couple thousand miles on it that they can have for the rest of their life. Harley Davidson is very easy to work with if you have a challenging credit score, and I'm talking about sub 500. So if you have a sub 500 credit score, and you're like, oh, I'm going to be stuck with a crapped out bike off of Craigslist, or I have to, buy a bike that's not working, or I have to buy a carbureted bike from the 1990s. Save up $2,000, and if you have $2,000, you can buy a motorcycle from Harley Davidson between $5,000 and $6,000 retail price. Now, if you want to buy a brand new Iron 883 and you have that same low credit score, well, you're going to need $5,000 or $6,000 down, so that may not be possible. But definitely, you can buy a motorcycle from Harley Davidson, an Iron 883, manufactured within the last 15 years from a Harley dealer. When I was first looking at getting into motorcycles, on my first trip to my local Harley dealer, I found a 1990s model in a beautiful red color. I believe it was a 94, and it was an 883L low. And I got on that motorcycle, and I instantly was comfortable with that motorcycle. And it was $3,000, and it had maybe 15,000 miles on it. Now, I didn't know what I know now about Harley, but if I was in a situation where that is all I could afford, all I would have needed is around $1,200 or less to get on that motorcycle on that particular day and drive off the lot. And I would have had a motorcycle that was reliable, access to the dealer network, access to parts if I needed it, access to support. And to be honest with you, when you first buy your motorcycle, you really don't need much access to parts and support. They check out the motorcycles when you buy it from the dealer. So if you're buying a used Iron 883, the motorcycle's been checked out. But things happen. Something can happen within 30, 60 days of ownership, and the dealer is there to help you. Trade-in value. With my particular dealer, and many dealers out there, but check with your local dealer, the trade-in value during the first year can't be beat by any brand. My dealer will give me 100% of what I paid for the base price of my Iron 83 towards another motorcycle, new or used, from Harley Davidson, from that dealer. So you can't go wrong. When you buy a brand new one, you get a 2-year warranty. You have an option, you can buy a third year if you wanted to. But the value for first year for trade-in value is unmatched. Now, beyond that, all motorcycles are subject to devaluation. That's just how it is. However, the floor on the Iron 83 is much higher than it is for any of its competitors in the same class, guaranteed. Much better than a Kawasaki Vulcan, much better than Honda, much better than Yamaha, much better than Triumph. Look at a Triumph Bonneville for a 2003 model. Look at an Iron Sportster 883. Look at a Honda Rebel. Look at a Kawasaki Vulcan. Go back 10, 12 years. Now, chances are you might not have that motorcycle, the Sportster that you buy today in 2021, and have that motorcycle in 2035. Many Iron 883 and Sportster owners progress into other motorcycles at higher displacement, whether that's because they want to go long distances and tour, so they want to get a more comfortable touring motorcycle, or perhaps they want to get additional motorcycles. They want to get an ADV motorcycle. They want to get a scrambler. They want to get a sport bike. You can splinter off in any direction. That's what makes the Iron 883 such a good value, because it can fit multiple applications and multiple purposes for your motorcycling needs. All right, so there you have it. 5 reasons to buy a Harley Davidson Iron 883 in 2021. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate it. All right, so be safe out there. Keep the shiny side up. We'll see you next time.
Hey guys, it's Haley. Be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and ring that bell for notifications. See you next time.